At 8 o'clock, we got Buffalo, who went 9-4 last year, traveling to Minnesota, who went 8-5. Minnesota favored by 18.5 points on FS1. CJ Ogbonna went 190 at 336, threw for 2,381 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. All-Jay Henderson for the Bulls had 204 carries for 1,078 yards and 9 touchdowns. And Victor Snow had 55 catches for 651 yards and 6 touchdowns. Max Brosmer had 268 403, threw for 2,828 yards and 18 touchdowns and 6 interceptions for the Golden Gophers. Darius Taylor had 205 carries for 986 yards and 10 touchdowns, and Daniel Jackson had 75 catches for 863 yards and 4 touchdowns. Minnesota is 2-0 against Buffalo all time, and Fleck is 1-0 against Buffalo all time at Minnesota. This game's honestly kind of interesting to me. I know, like, when you're on the Thursday window, I think you're pulling it, grasping at strings, right? You're talking about really interesting football matchups. I think there's legitimately interesting one early on with Boise State and USF. I think East Carolina, NC State's pretty interesting. But outside of that, you're like, okay, what are we looking for in the specific game for the specific team? You kind of know the outcome. And I'm not going to say you don't know the outcome here. I think it is very likely Minnesota wins this football game. But Buffalo's a weird squad, right? And Macs are interesting. The past 2 years have not been the norm, but normally the Mac's gotten a Big Ten team. Like, for the long time, the Mac had typically caught a Big Ten team by surprise. They shocked them, right? They kind of shocked the world when they would do that. I don't know if this is going to be the game that it happens, but it could be. Minnesota lost their best starting quarterback they've had since, I don't even remember. I don't remember the last time they've had a good one. Brosmer was solid last year for them. He was really good. And I understand this was not a phenomenal Minnesota team. They went 7-5 in the regular season, right? But this is a Minnesota team that beat a pretty solid USC team at a time, a top 10 USC team. This was a Minnesota team that that beat Illinois. This was a Minnesota team that took a good Michigan team to the brink. It's a Minnesota team that took a really good Penn State team to the brink. Minnesota lost a lot of heartbreakers last year. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I don't know how it's gonna go this year. They have a really hard schedule. They have not a lot of consistency at the quarterback position. Oh, by the way, I should mention it. All-Jay Henderson and Victor Snow return for the Bulls, and Darius Taylor returns for the Golden Gophers. But Buffalo last year is an interesting team to me, right? They did not make a bowl game, and in their first year, the head coach brings them to, I think, 8-4 in the regular season, and they win a bowl. They beat a top 25 Northern Illinois squad, which at the time was shocking, right? This was a Northern Illinois squad that was coming off a bye, but the week before that, they beat Notre Dame. They shocked the world and beat Notre Dame. Northern Illinois looked like the easy candidate to run their way into the college football playoffs as the Group 5 rep. They would have had the best loss. They would have had the best win on the resume by far. It wouldn't have even been close. And Buffalo shocked the world. No one expected Buffalo to win that game. It was in Northern Illinois, too. And Buffalo went on the road and they shocked the world. Can they go on the road and shock the world? I will say this would be the next step if you're Buffalo, right? You had a really solid 8-4 year. If you can go on the road, shock a Minnesota team, I think that's going to put your name on the map. I honestly kind of think it'll happen. Minnesota, as much as I love PJ Fleck, he does not bring a lot of backup talent this year, right? Darius Taylor's the only one. And I think if you're looking at this team, you're looking at a team that could take the next step. If the quarterback for Buffalo is solid and he has a good game, this could happen. I mean, like, I legitimately am looking at this, and you know what? I'm going to take the leap. Give me Buffalo to go on the road and pull off a shocker on FS1 and beat Minnesota and put their name in the hat of Group of 5 teams that can make the college football playoff.